Hello, everybody. I am Kodili-nye. Fans, we need to talk today. Especially my Nigerian fans and supporters. I must appreciate all of you for your support so far to this channel. I'm going to discuss some burning issue, especially in Anambra State. Recently, you would have heard about the erosion, cutting off federal roads in Nnobi in Idemili South local government of Anambra State, Nigeria. And you had the Onitsha Owerri Road cut many places by the erosion, or in Oba and even in Ozobolo and many places in Onitsha itself, Obosi area as well, near the metallurgical, near Eziweka, and Bwemena and Enamewe area, and even Amanato. But tonight, I'm going to concentrate on the Nnobi erosion menace. Nnobi is a town in Idemili South local government of Anambra State, and it's a bustling town, and it connects to Nnewi also. It connects to Ojoto and Nkpor. And there was a major highway, federal road that intersect through there. And this erosion menace there is not something that is new, but the main thing is that it been left unattended because of some inadequacies and the nonchalant attitude, not just by the government, but the people of the area as well. We must commend also the governor of Anambra State for intervening, although now it's going to cost a lot of money. If necessary precaution was put in place or monitoring on a weekly basis to see how what's going on there, it would have helped to stop this money being spent on that, the money that would have used for other purposes. But we must commend the government for coming there, although they has actually cut off the road and with great economic hardship that they are incurred on that road, because many people cannot access that road anymore. So let me start by looking at that erosion and what we need to do also, and what actually caused the erosion there. If you look at Nnobi, you can see that the Nnobi is turning to an urban settlement because of increased activity of developers and people building houses. There is a rice mill being built in that town, one of the biggest in the southern Nigeria, which will be commissioned this year. There are a lot of industries coming up there. There is a radio station and a lot of things. And most of this flood water is not only coming from Nnobi, but it's coming from all the way from Nkpor, a town also part of Idemili, and even from Adazienu. It's also coming from all the way from Okeiti. Some are also coming from some part of Alo also. So that's where all this water is coming from. And the more we build houses, the more we are actually having more flood waters. So if we depend on only building drainage, it will not solve the problem, because the drainage cannot contain the amount of water that will be going through it, and especially traveling and many kilometers away. So, and the speed is coming. If you look at that place, it's like a valley. Like the water is descending towards that stream, and you can see the force. If you have been there, many times have been there, you can see the speed of the flood water. So it can actually pull away trucks. So what do you do to stop flooding? You need a lot of things. What is happening in now Nnobi is not a national disaster. Most of the time we say it's a national disaster, but it's not a natural disaster because it's a man-made occurrence, because we are the one that are cutting out trees, destroying forest, destroying the vegetation, and what we left is that the soil is left porous to be eroded by erosion. So to mitigate this, to mitigate against this problem, we need to look at ourselves and see what we need to do concerning our environment, because the environment is the essential threat to human existence, especially in Anambra State, with the small land mass left for it to build on. So what do we do in Nnobi? We need actually to enforce, the government or the town need to enforce street building of water reservoir, something like lakes that can actually hold on the water, for the running water for some time. It should be built in many places so that it will hold the water and reduce the force of the running water, and channel it with a couple of pipes that when it gets full up in the rainy season, it will be flowing slowly through the pipes so that the drainage will not be overwhelmed or overworked. So this is one of the things we need to do. We need also to encourage every house in that area, even adjoining towns, to build pits, something like wells, what do they call it, to build pits in their compound, like in the olden times it was done in many towns, so that the water from your compound doesn't wash out to the road or any place. So if we can contain the water in our compound, the few ones on the road will not be able to cause much damage. This is simple knowledge. So, and the planting of trees, and we need to encourage that more trees should be planted, because those trees, the root of those trees can easily hold the autumn soil, because the soil needs something to hold it firm. So, and in many of those compounds, you can see that there is no vegetation left. Many of the compounds are interlocked, which is a wrong thing to do. We should also create a way that the soil, the compound, we should leave a place that are not covered, so that some of the water will be draining through the soil. We also need to look at the channeling of the water from the drainage. We should see to the channeling. If you see how that place was being channeled, you can see that there's always risk for erosion, because there is nothing to slow down the water before getting down into that stream. So we should also do embankment in that stream around it. We should put embankment like how it's done in the Western world, in London, in America. You can see that near the stream there is something like embankment they build to stop the water from having overrunning the whole place. So we should also advocate to do that. So it's very, very important, because if we don't do all those things, we end up spending a lot of money and at the same time causing devastation to lives and property. So we also need to have in villages, especially in that Nnobi, and the monitoring group that will be monitoring some of those areas to make sure that it doesn't, get to the level of that devastation. I must also say to the governor of Anambra State not to say federal road, because the people in Anambra State are the ones that are suffering from all these things. It's causing a great economic problem in that state. And thinking that a lot of the roads are federal roads, yes, but a lot of them also are the major artery points into the states, and they bear a brunt of the